Welcome back to the Altbit Coin Daily channel everyone. My name is Alux and right now it is happening. Bitcoin is rejecting from this critical level of resistance after just liquidating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin trades as the price of Bitcoin is still repeating history in the short term, while Ethereum is also doing the same thing in the short term. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video. So definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and over the last 1 day nothing has really changed on this chart, so moving straight to the 2-day time frame, at least for now. Once again, we are still technically within more of a bearish trend as of right now, forming lower highs and lower lows on this chart right here. But this is also forming a descending broadening wedge pattern. And so we also have support and resistance to pay attention to on this chart. First of all, we have this line of support sitting just underneath 54,000, sitting closer towards around 53,500 now. And we have this line of resistance sitting at around 68 to 69. And once again, as I've been saying recently here on the channel, even during this bearish trend, we can see the occasional bullish relief or pump back to the upside here and there, even during a bearish trend. And with that being said, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, of course, as of right now, the RSI on the daily time frame is at relatively neutral levels because we already saw a major reset over the last half a week to 1 week now. And so technically speaking, this now means we have more room again to the downside here in the RSI compared to around 1 week ago, because obviously about a week ago the RSI on the daily time frame was oversold, telling us that we have very limited room to the downside. We are kind of approaching the downside limit just in the short term. And so once again, we reset the RSI, which was expected here over the last 1 week or so. But now that we've reset the RSI, we have some more room to the downside. So just keep that in mind. We saw something kind of similar back here, back near the end of June and early July as well. And so that's why we cannot rely on this signal by itself to actually confirm the actual bottom and confirm a new bullish trend reversal, because there's been times where we've seen basically a slight relief from the bearish trend in the short term after an oversold signal, but not necessarily a bullish trend reversal. And so once again the RSI at the moment is relatively neutral, and if we are taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart right here, looking at some support and resistance levels, obviously over the last couple of days here we've actually played out a bit more of a rejection from this level of resistance based on this volume profile indicator, which I have mentioned here on the channel just recently, sitting at roughly around 63,000. And so obviously, at least for now, 63K is still a strong level of resistance to pay attention to. And as of right now, we've actually just seen a break back below this area on the chart, which for a couple of days here was holding as a bit of short-term support, sitting in between around 1960,000 to 610000, but we've now just seen a daily candle close back below around $60,000, and so technically speaking, this now means that 60 to 61,000 should now be acting as a bit of short-term resistance again in case we see another short-term bounce of some sort. And as for the next support to pay attention to the downside, we do have a bit of support at around 57.5. thousand based on this volume profile indicator right here, but other than that we have this previous significant area of support in between around 1956 to 57,000, and if we were to see a confirmed break back below around 56,000, then in that case we have this significant area of support down here based on the volume profile indicator sitting in between around 1951 to 50,000, and if we were to see a confirmed breakout back above around 63,000, we also have this strong area of resistance right here in between around 67,000 to 68.3K, and we can only really start talking about a major bullish trend again here on the larger time frames and talking about new all-time highs and things like that once we actually see a confirmed breakout back above this resistance and ideally back above this previous high, which are both sitting at roughly around 69,000 to give or take, and so obviously while the price is below this resistance, technically speaking we are forming lower highs in the price and also lower lows at least for now, which is technically what a bearish trend is. But if we are zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, obviously we are still seeing very similar price action at the moment compared to what we saw near the bottom of the March 2020 crash. And obviously I've been talking about this basically every day over the last 1 week or so. Since all the way back down here I've been mentioning we have a lot of similarities right now compared to what we saw back here, and so due to that of course I shared here on the channel around half a week ago, give or take, that I was entering a long position with that slight little pullback right here. I used that as an entry to enter a long position, and then I mentioned basically around 1 to 2 days after